Did you bribe him or something?
Yes, I did. Literally.
I was going to say, like, how did you get the parrot from Aladdin to fucking say Cigar Tipsters and that we suck? I don't think he's listened to a single episode.
No, he hasn't.
I doubt it.
No, there's this.
But
there's this. Actually, the website is called Cameo. Have you ever been on there?
No.
But anyway, there's a bunch of random, somewhat celebrities. He's probably one of the more famous people on there. But he's also one of my favorite comedians, so that's why I finally broke down and was like, I'm going to do this because
you just ask him to do it.
Yeah, you pay the fee and he'll say whatever the fuck you want, basically. So I got a bonus the other day.
That's pretty cool.
I was literally just like, fuck it, I'm going to pay the fee and we're going to go with it.
Might as well if anybody's gonna do anything about it. I figured, what the hell? But that's still pretty cool that Gilbert Gottfried CigarTipsters.com. These guys are terrible. Like, oh my god,
it's actually not a terrible impression.
Yeah,
actually, just paid you to do it.
If I listen to more than 2 seconds, I can't take it anymore. God, yeah. Gilbert.
Yeah, I liked what he said. I was like, I'm glad it's you listening and not me.
Yeah.
No, literally what I put in the request, I was like, just say hi. This is Gilbert Gottfried. You're listening to Cigar Tipsters podcast. And then I was like, feel free to say whatever. And that's what.
And that's when he added in.
that's what we came up with.
Oh, I can't believe we got a celebrity to mention cigar. That's pretty cool, actually.
I know. It was worth the money.
Can I share that on Twitter?
Yes.
I'll share it on the Cigar Tipsters page on Facebook or whatever. I figured, what the hell? So, hey, by the way, somebody who's really famous talked about us, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna edit this tonight and go ahead and use it. So I'll put it at the beginning of the show.
So can you isolate just the audio portion?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I've got to convert it later this evening, but yeah, it'll be like a drop for the podcast.
That's fucking cool. That's really damn cool.
That might be the one. I almost thought about taking Roger out, at least for one episode.
And just put Gilbert Gottfried in there, like that little segment?
Yeah, put that in there, and then the music plays, and the little woman says, "This is the podcast." And it's just like, he should.
You could do that. Play around with a little bit. Like, edit a little bit here and mess this, and see what it looks like. Because it might actually be a hell of a cameo to have Gilbert Gottfried introduce us. It's a celebrity everyone's forgot about to a website nobody knows about topics that nobody understands. It's like, hey, if you don't know anything, come to here.
You've got to look up some of his comedy. It is it's incredibly vulgar.
Is it kind of like what's the guy from Full House?
Bob Saget. Yeah, it's in that realm. Yes,
it's in that. Okay, all right, that makes sense now. Which is unusual.
Actually, Gilbert has a podcast that's about old Hollywood stuff, and you would only like it if you're into like the old Bela Lugosi and the old horror films and shit like that. But he does this one episode with Bob Saget that's just random shit for the entire episode.
I like Gilbert already. He said he's entertaining in a very Gilbert Gottfried way. I don't know of any other celebrity that has that persona.
No, or that squints that much when they talk.
Oh god, yeah, he doesn't. He never stops squinting. It's like he's always got stuff. He's got sand in his eyes constantly.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like he's looking at the sun, but maybe it's just his career. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna tag that because for the man who's always looks like he's staring into the sun, and then post that video on Twitter. I'm gonna tag Gilbert Gottfried in, and I want to see if I can get a reply out of him.
He usually likes just about anything you mention him in. So.
Yeah.
So I was just
that'll be funny.
I had been thinking about doing that for a long time, and I was like, no, I can't spend the money. And then I got.
How much is the fee to get him to do it?
For him, oh god, no! You make me not even want to.
Oh, well, okay. Then don't tell me. If it's more than enough, then I'll just leave it alone. It's enough to. You had to pull the trigger on it. It wasn't just like, sure, I'll go ahead and do this. It's like I had to actually. Okay. Well.
Yeah, it was $150. I did it.
Damn.
But it was worth it to me.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: there are if I hadn't have gotten a bonus the other day, I wouldn't have done it. But I was just like, this is found money. Fucking, I'm going to do what I want to with it.
Okay. And I'll put it this way: it's one of those like years from now when we look back, it's like, yeah, dude, we got Gilbert Gottfried to promo for us. Like that's something we can talk about in our history. Like, yeah, this is how we promoted ourselves. We bribed Gilbert Gottfried. What an
Literally.
intro! What if that was like the intro to our success and all of us like listeners like, oh, I want to listen to Cigar for whatever reason. It's like our fan base explodes.
Well,
fuck Gilbert fucking Gottfried.
Yeah, if Gilbert Gottfried says it sucks, we have to hear it.
We have to hear it now because he says it's terrible. Which means we gotta. Oh man, we gotta start doing good podcasts.
We're fine.
We actually have to start getting our shit together. Oh man, now we have a fan base. You know, it's like two employees that cut up when there's no customers in the room, and then all of a sudden it gets filled with customers. Like, well, fuck, now we gotta act like professionals.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like. Oh.
And this episode, because Senior's not chaperoning us tonight, may be particularly loosey goosey.
What's the worst that could happen? what's the worst that could possibly happen? Somebody may comment. I've been begging to get people to comment on the website or just anybody. Say anything. I don't care.
Just say hi. We do have our
say anything.
We do have our one good dedicated fan on Twitter that usually talks good about the show and actually it's Ken the
Ball?
One. No, it was not Ken Ball. I blocked him.
Fuck him. He doesn't even know who we are. You send him a request and then he accepts it and then you block him.
No, the actual Twitter user he's got his name as Martin, but it's probably Martine because it's got a little fancy accent thing over it. But if I'm butchering that, I'm sorry. But his Twitter name is @ArchPaulus, ArchPaulus.
ArchPaulus.
He was the one who also responded to your thing about the cigar events the other day.
That was him? Paulus.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, not Ken.
No, not Ken Paul.
I thought you were saying Ken was like,
the only thing we're ever going to get from Ken Ball is a cease and desist letter from his attorney.
It's going to be what is it? Just a resisting order. Like don't
either
come
that or a lawsuit for slander. One of the two.
We can't slander his name to an audience we don't have. Like we're just the 4 people that don't even know you hate.
That'll actually be our defense in court, sir. If no one heard this,
it can't be slander. Why? Nobody knows about it.
Literally, he was the only person that heard it.
What is it like in Liar Liar? He's badgering the witness. It's his witness. He's badgering his own witness.
All right, it is, believe it or not, the Cigar Tipsters podcast. Junior and Ben are here with you tonight. Senior will be joining us on the next round. We were very impromptu with this one. We did not plan, so fuck knows what's going to come out of here.
We're going to say what we want, and that's the end of it.
So that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Good night.
Thanks for joining.
But I'll tell you, I've got a cigar. Well, I say it's in my car, but my car's at the dealership because it broke down last night. But that's a whole other story.
No.
But anyway, I have a cigar in the car. Diesel now has a bourbon barrel aged cigar.
Okay.
I bought it at a shop in Atlanta because I like the Camacho American barrel aged cigar. But
is the diesel version a little stronger or similar?
Well, he said the bourbon aspect is not as potent as the Camacho, but with the diesel,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be, at least from a nicotine standpoint, it's going to be a little bit higher octane.
Yeah, diesels tend to be kind of diesel, like the fuel. It's pretty strong.
Yeah. It's actually infused with diesel fuel.
Yeah. DEF.
DEF. Do you know what DEF is, by the way?
Diesel emissions.
Diesel exhaust fluid. But what I mean is like what it's literally is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is diesel exhaust fluid.
No, I mean like what it's made of.
It's made of diesel?
No.
Oh.
If you look on the ingredients list, it is it's like 80 or 85% bovine urea. In other words, cow piss.
I knew bovine. Urea I could have just guessed. It's
Yeah,
also towards the end of the day.
it's a very weird substance, and if you spill it on something that dries, it's like this crusty white color. It's really weird.
That's gross.
Yeah, it kind of is, especially when you spill it on yourself.
Don't do that.
Been there, done that. But anyway, I haven't done much smoking in the past couple of weeks because after I got back from Atlanta and all that stuff, I ended up with the flu. After
damn.
Senior had it, it's probably his fault that I got it, but who knows? I prefer to blame him for things anyway.
It's easier.
It's funny. He actually he trusted me. He sent his cigar order to my house because I could get it to him faster than him actually going home. He actually trusted me to let his cigar sit here for almost a week.
Was that a bad idea?
No, actually.
Have you stayed true to your word and kept them, or have you
No, I did finally.
Won't miss this one.
I did finally deliver them. There was a lot of Oliva in there. He went on an Oliva sampler pack run.
That's fine. I like Olivas. Series G is one of my favorites.
I got and I'll have to post some pictures of it. I don't think I posted any pictures of it yet, but I got a Colibri. It's a straight cut with the serrated blade Colibri Firebird.
Ooh.
Got that on Cigar Bid for like $2.50. It's actually quite nice.
Really? $2.50? Giving it away.
You seriously, for anybody out there that wants either cheap cutters and lighters or cheap 5-packs of cigars, cigarbid.com.
Yeah.
If you go to the ending soon section, you can snipe stuff just like you do on eBay. It's God's gift to cigars in many ways.
There is something about and the cigars, I've ordered them a couple times. You get the same good quality stuff. It's just cheaper somehow because you're bidding on it. I don't know. It's nice.
I think it's literally they just sell so much shit that they can afford to take the hit on some things.
I suppose
because, and Senior will tell you that he's been guilty of getting into bidding wars with people over stuff on there. So, and you have those people that will go through a bidding war and then pay too much.
So they do make it up somewhere else.
Yeah, and I've gotten Lucia Blacks. I got those for I think a 5-pack for $8. Let's see what else.
I paid more than that for the one cigar today that I got from Alec Bradley.
CAO Extreme. I got those for it was like $10 for a 5-pack. I mean, and the thing is, you can take the 5-pack and you can Google it and immediately see what Cigars International is selling the same 5-pack for and find out whether it's a deal or not.
You can compare side by side immediately.
Oh, yeah. So if you're like, I don't know what this cost, just Google it and Cigars International will show you. And then you're like, yeah, I'm getting a hell of a deal.
That's really cool.
Now, you've got to, the secret I've found to Cigar Bid is you've got to go, you can go for popular stuff, but you've got to go for older stuff. The stuff that's still new is what people fight over.
Yeah, if it's like the latest and greatest sort of thing, or it made reviews in a magazine, they're like, then that's what they'll charge after. But if you go stuff that's, if you know what the classics are, what's really good, and not running any specials on magazines or articles, then to me that's what you can go get a good deal on.
And speaking of articles and magazines, I have to throw a quick shout out to our friends at Trey J, who ended up appearing in a magazine, Cigar Snob magazine.
That's right. Good job to him, Jerry. Right on.
Yeah, the Vicarious Red got rated a 90 in Cigar Snob, so very proud of those guys, and I know they're super happy with that offering there. That
is a big boost to their business. That's putting it in up there with the big boys, the famous boys, and for a small time company like this, that's I'm really proud of them for that.
Yeah, for a boutique to get that national exposure, that is second to none for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned paying a price for a cigar today. What did you end up with?
I got an Alec Bradley, and I never heard this before, so I was tempted to try it. It is an Alec Bradley Magic Toast, is what it's called. It's a Robusto size. I bought it, and I meant to look it up, and then I got caught up at work, so I'm going to reopen up the deal here. But, I have had great experiences with Alec Bradleys. I can't really think of a time when I had an Alec Bradley that I didn't really enjoy. Some I may enjoy more than others, but I've not had a bad experience with an Alec Bradley. He does consistent work, and I like his personality. I like it, online. He has a good organization, good family brand. So I can't really complain. He's got a pretty big portfolio too.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of his actually is one of his cheap ones, the Alec Bradley American Sungrown. It's like $4, maybe $5 on average for the most part, but it's a superb cigar. It's a small cigar. It's about a, 25, 30-minute smoke, but I know the Prensada, I'm blanking on names right now because I'm looking the Magic Toast up online. It's got a Honduran wrapper and then Nicaraguan and Honduran binder and filler. So
he does a lot of Honduran tobacco, like from Trojes is what he's mentioned, that region of Honduras. He really likes that Honduran tobacco. He mixes it with a lot.
Yeah, it looks good. It's got a nice little shade to it there. Looking like, let's see, Cigar Coop gave it a red and white pepper and coffee mix. So that should be a relatively decent little combination there.
I'm looking forward to it. It looks good. The pack feels like firm, but not too firm. Not like it's going to crack, but so it feels good in the hand. That's what I was like, okay, well, I like Alec Bradley. I'll give it a shot. So that's what I'll do.
Now, it's given all the circumstances as of late, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but what's grinding your gears tonight?
What's grinding my gears? Okay, so I will tell you what's grinding my gears. So what it is, premium cigar makers who advertise next to non-premium tobacco or cigar makers. Now, why do I bring this up and what am I talking about? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm a little confused by the situation. So every year for the past 15 years or so, there's been an event called the TPE, or Tobacco Plus Expo. It's a catch-all event that's put on by Tobacco Media Group, which also publishes Tobacco Business Magazine, where I found the original article on this information. And they're a subsidiary of Cretech International. I've mentioned them before in a previous article, but that's who they're subsidiary of. For premium tobacco makers, as well as alternative tobacco products such as, vape, CBD, oil, and things of that nature. So for the past 15 years, they've had this event, and, anybody who's a relative to premium tobacco or not can go to this event, and everybody's one big happy family. Well, here's the thing. At this event, everyone has a chance to make their case when it comes to finding their niche in the marketplace. This tobacco and tobacco alternative lifestyle is becoming ever more increasing in popularity and larger pieces of public market share. Look, if you want to enjoy premium cigars, vape, CBD, or whatever, you're free to do so. That's your right, and it's no one's business but your own. Now, this all sounds nice, except for one thing. One major factor that has changed in the past couple of years is the US FDA. From a couple of years ago. Now, the US FDA, for some bizarre reason, has become a bunch of ignorant tight-asses who decided to regulate everything, including premium tobacco and cigars. We all remember back in 2016 when they chose option 1. Now, the FDA doesn't really give a shit about public health, saving the children. They do to some degree, saving the environment and all that. But these are some excuses that some six-figure income, complacent, white-collar person thinks that they're self-righteous. So in 2016, when the FDA chose option 1 to regulate all smoking products of any kind, including cigars, but not since Enrique Sanchez of 1502 Cigars submitted the first lawsuit against the FDA have we, as a cigar community, been fighting to be exempt from the FDA's ruling for ultra-regulation. And the reason why is because the case we made was that we're a historical product. We are not harming children. We are compliant to local and state rules, so forth and so on. So in short, we, the premium tobacco industry, don't really care if you tax the hell out of anyone else. Just please don't touch our precious cigars, okay? And yet, at this expo, we all come together, quote unquote, as one big happy family, and we're all suffering from the FDA, and we all need to help each other. And no, No, we do not need to come together as one big happy family. We, the cigar consumers, retailers, distributors, blenders, whoever else, have spent tens of thousands of dollars, I would say hundreds of thousands of dollars, for lobbyists, paid advertisements, and we have shown support for Senator Marco Rubio from Florida, who, in my opinion, is a little lackluster at best, but he's better than nothing at all. All of this to be, quote, different from alternative products, such as CBD oil, vape juice, and all of that. My point is this. If we're going to make a case in Congress and the Senate that premium cigars are different than everybody else, then we should stop trying to be like everyone else. Either we are different from the alternative lifestyle community or we are not. But don't ask to be exempt from government regulations while at the same time setting up your booth next to a vape shop and giving away tote bags of goodies to newcomers. So if you or anyone has an opinion on this rant, please feel free to comment or email us by visiting www.cigartipsters.com. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah, I definitely agree that, I don't know, we're fighting so hard to be this one segment, this premium tobacco segment that is just tobacco, and we don't need to associate with the heathens.
Well, and that's the thing. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with enjoying, I'm just going to call it the alternative lifestyle. If you want to do CBD or vape or whatever, smoke a bong, nobody really cares. My concern is not what you as a free American choose to do with your time. My concern is that I think we're losing credibility when we go to the government to say, please don't regulate us, but regulate everybody else because we're not part of that niche. And then you go to a giant party and hang out with everyone that you just got done telling the government they're okay to regulate, but not you. So you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. And I'm trying to figure out, because, people were there like Drew Estate, E.P. Carrillo, Michael Herklots. These are big names in the cigar industry. And I get that they're all there to say, look, this is, the market is changing and you want to discuss what you want to discuss. And if there was no FDA regulation issue going on right now, nobody would give a shit. You want to go there and say, I'm premium tobacco and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I just don't understand asking for one thing and then doing something else. It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like I'm missing a giant piece here, but I just don't get it. Like, how does everyone else view us, the premium cigar industry, who's fighting to be free from FDA regulations, and yet I don't see us going there and lobbying for them, saying, hey, so you should exempt premium cigars and everyone else. We don't say that. We just say premium tobacco because we're, quote, different. Fine. So help me understand why the hell we're doing this.
Unfortunately, I can't, because it just flat out doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and maybe it's rhetorical, but that's my beef. It's just like everybody here online and us and the community, abroad, is vocalizing their anger for the way that the government is treating us and shutting down, stores and online and all this stuff, and yet we're kicking the little guys out. And yet we're going to party with them. So they're good enough to hang out with, but they're not good enough to be tax exempt. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Basically, you'd bang them, but you wouldn't marry them.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I wouldn't call them the next morning.
Yeah,
so they're good for that one night romp, but I'm not going to call you the next morning. Yeah.
Such a complicated world in which we live.
Okay.
We're from the government. We're here to help.
That's the worst. I think Reagan said that's the worst words you could ever hear. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
That's when you know you're about to get a stick up your ass.
Yep. Now, I want to talk about something that's a little more fun before we get into the next topic. So I was thinking of something on the way to work, and I decided to jot it down a little bit, and I wanted to see if you feel the same way. So let me bring this up. It's about Rocky Patel. Okay, everybody's favorite. Everybody loves Rocky Patel for some reason.
Mr. Scoop of Chocolate.
He has a very unique persona. Now, I will grant you this. I do enjoy Rocky Patel cigars. One of the first cigars I ever fell in love with was a Rocky Patel Decade. It was, like Rocky described it, it was rich, full-bodied, full of characters, so forth and so on. It was a wonderful smoke. It was very memorable to me. So I do enjoy his work. He is also on the board for Cigar Rights of America, and he has publicly on television, on newscasts, on podcasts, or whatever, he has vocalized his fight against the FDA and has put his foot forward. So I do grant him that he is good in marketing and for himself, and he is also a great spokesperson for the cigar community. So, like I was saying, Rocky is a master of advertising and marketing for himself. But I think what I kind of like about him is it's not what he markets, it's how he does it. So if you notice a lot of other cigar makers, they always involve their family, almost like a humble approach. So, you look at La Flor Dominicana, okay? He, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Help me, Mark. Who was, I can't think of his name for some reason.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
The man in the hat. Anyway, so you got Ernesto Perez Carrillo. He talks about his daughter Lisette, and on the bands they talk about they see the history of their family. It's all about this. When it comes to Rocky, he puts his name first, and then you enjoy the product. So if you think about it like an artwork, you see the artwork, and then the artist will usually sign like a corner on the back just to kind of know the name that who actually did it. But primarily you want to focus on the art. That's everyone else. Rocky wants you to see his name in broad, bold lights and colors. And then if there's time, look at what it is that the art is, the artwork that he's made. It's a selfish type of marketing, but I think it's just interesting. Like you see Rocky Patel. Oh, by the way, we also have this, and this. So he's market himself forward ahead of the artwork, if you think of it that way.
Yeah, it's not necessarily incorrect because, like you mentioned, La Flor Dominicana, you mentioned A.P. Carrillo.
Yeah.
From Alec Bradley earlier in the show.
He's got his two sons, which he names the cigar after. Right? So it's always like family.
Yeah, I mean, humble. Alec and Bradley are the kids,
Right, exactly. But Rocky doesn't talk about his family. He brings his brother Nish to bring his cigar line, but again, it's always like Rocky first. And I think it's selfish and kind of funny.
Well, actually, if you think about it, you've got the Rocky Patel Edge, you've got the Rocky Patel Decade, you've got the Rocky Royale.
Yeah.
When he brings in the brothers, it's the Thunder by Nimish.
By Nish.
Bold by Nish Patel. He changes the formula with them, but not himself.
I think it's kind of cool. It's like, so it's fair. Like even his brothers, they get a piece of the pie afterwards. Like it's the cigar that I made, but his name's attached to it. Whereas if it's his, it's like, I'm fucking Rocky Patel. Look at my shit. By the way, I have a cigar. It's like, funny.
The brothers get the second banana treatment, but Rocky gets the
he gets the first dibs.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, his company, and it clearly it's working. But
it's brilliant. It's brilliant advertising. I just never really thought, because I had to really think about Rocky and compare it to other families, how they come from humble beginnings, and Padron comes to his father with the little hammer. So it's always some type of little story from humble beginnings there. And Rocky's just like, I am the shit. And I want you to know that I'm the shit, and then you're going to buy my shit, and that's the end of it. It's just a very bold way of advertising.
Yeah, it brings me back to something Alan told me one time when he first came to join us. He's like something you say, something that all of you say really bugs me. He's like, you will all of you will say, in my humble opinion. He's like, fuck that, you're not humble. This is our opinion,
Why does your opinion have to? It's your opinion. It's clearly, I suppose so. It's just a cliche thing that we say.
Yeah, but it's kind of in that same line, It's like it's his cigar, it's his name. This is our show. We'll do what the fuck we want.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's like, well, that's really not. I guess I see the point. I never thought of it that way. It's funny.
I guess I need to change it to Mark Cigar Tipsters Podcast or
I
something.
Suppose, yeah, what the hell?
Our names are not that far out there yet.
Mark Snyder Jr. And there's some sort of podcast and shit that we do on the side, but primarily it's Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to change the whole logo. It's just going to be word art.
It just says Mark.
With my name.
Times New Roman. Bold.
Times New Roman. What is this?
Comic Sans.
Wait a minute. What is this? 12th grade English class?
No,
Times New
it's
Roman?
Comic Sans is what it's going to be. It's going to look like you wrote it in crayon.
That's normally how it looks when I write anyway. So that would actually be pretty accurate. I got my handwriting from my father.
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have either one of us sign our signatures. You can't read a fucking thing.
I write in italics for some reason. Everything I write is italicized. It's always slanted for some reason. Like I can't wait to get to the end of the fucking sentence. So I keep writing like I don't want to go up. I want to go forward. So,
how old are you now?
33.
Okay. So we're right there together, but you want to blow somebody's fucking mind who's under the age of 28? I mean, you really just want to rape their mind in one shot?
Under 28? How am I supposed to do that?
No, you just write in cursive.
Oh, yeah.
Like it will blow their fucking mind.
They're going to look at it and think, I don't know how to read as well. In the old days, it's
Chinese.
called cursive.
Yeah, They don't even teach it anymore.
That is sad.
Like every once in a while...
Use it, but...
Every once in a while, I'll do it just to see if I can remember how to do it.
Yeah, and you'll look back and like, oh, that's right. And you do. This is how you make an R and an S and a G. Like you forgot how to do it.
Yeah, then you're like, need to do it in pencil because you like erase. Try again.
But there's something very elegant about like people who can write really well cursive. It's a very elegant flow, and I admire people.
Yeah,
who can. I wish I could write that clean.
Yeah, people don't think that when I write it. They think this person is mentally defective.
This chicken has autism, and he's just scratching the shit out of this paper.
Basically. It honestly looks like I'm still in 3rd grade trying to learn cursive.
There's a raccoon with Down syndrome, and he's got finger paint all over his paws, and he's just running all over the page. Jesus. That'd be wild to see, wouldn't it?
Well,
I'm never mind. I'm not gonna rant on that. But
please direct all hate mail directly to Ben.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put people down. I don't know. It just that went a little far for your curse. You need help with handwriting. Let's just
at Mr. Wise Ash, if you would like to comment on that.
You motherfucker! I have a son. I'm sorry. It's just a joke. Okay. Just kidding.
People can't take a joke anymore.
No, God, no. They really. You gotta apologize for every damn thing you say and do these days.
Oh, all right. I lost track.
Yep.
Speaking of,
let's get back on syllabus.
Actually, be talking about. There's again, and we go through this seemingly every 6 months nowadays. But there's a new push to lift the Cuban embargo.
Yeah.
Don't really think it's going to happen, but they're pretending like they care again.
Yeah.
And we know Cuba doesn't give a damn.
Well, so I've been reading various comics, people who have visited Cuba and people who live in Europe or Canada, and everybody's got their own opinion on the situation. And then they mentioned basically since 1996 when Bill Clinton, who made it into law or something about not lifting the embargo. I don't know. Here's the thing. So my viewpoint, having read various articles, I think even if we lifted the embargo, that's not going to fix their problem. They have a bigger problem than just exporting cigars and rum to another country. I mean, their country is run by a communistical state.
Yeah, they're communist.
They're communist.
What
so
do you need?
I'm not. Even if we lifted the embargo, and say, okay, you're free to go. Okay, and what? They still don't have. I mean, I wrote an article that I read from Cigar Aficionado. I was just kind of reiterating it, but they don't even really have internet access. They have to pay almost a month's salary for like 20 minutes or an hour of data. That's fucking ridiculous. That we're in this year, 2019, and Cuba can't really access the internet the way most every other country can. And
their so-called internet is like what we would call 2G,
Right, I was going to say like 1.5G.
Dial-up, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, and so I don't know why we're so focused on getting this embargo lifted. What we need to do is redo another Bay of Pigs invasion, only successfully. And, I think even if we were to go down there and say, okay, your communism is down and here's capitalism, it's still going to take 2 or 3 generations to get accustomed to that lifestyle anyway. They've been so institutionalized by this communism. Even if we said, okay, now you're capitalist, you have a free market, go do your thing, they wouldn't know what the hell to do anyway. They have no practice in it.
No, you're talking about a country that's literally still in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Maybe
the cars they drive are 57 Chevys. And they are still very, I think they modernized a little bit, but man, it's, like just having things like clean water and a sewage system and internet and just basic amenities that the rest of the world has, and they don't. It's like, that to me is a much bigger economic issue than people, and most people are commenting, oh, I've tried Cuban cigars, they have a tight draw. I wouldn't worry about the cigars like influencing and taking over market share from Nicaragua and Honduras and Dominican Republic. I would not be concerned, even if we said, okay, you can import all the Cuban cigars you want. That's the least of our concerns with Cuba.
Half the tobacco, Cuba's importing half their tobacco at this point anyway.
Yeah, and Europe's not keeping them in business because they don't have an embargo on them. So it's not that they're going out of business about it. And it's like, I wouldn't worry about the quality of the tobacco from Cuba. I'd worry about, hey, can these people order food? Can they watch television? Can they go to a public event without armed guards outside? Can they have their curfew lifted and go outside later than 10 o'clock? These are things that Cuba should focus on.
Can they not shit in the hole in the ground? Those kinds of things.
Can they have indoor plumbing? Like I would focus more on that than worrying about the rum and the quality of the cigars that come from there. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, there's humanitarian issues that mean a little more than.
I've never been to Cuba.
I'm on a Cristo number 2.
Right. I think someday, if God willing, I want to go down there and just see it if I can. Maybe when it's safer, just to say that I visited and see what's going on. But I just all these people.
My tan's a little better and I don't look so white.
Perhaps, I think you'd blend in with the hat and everything. You look Cuban. You and your name's Mark. We call you Mark Cuban.
I just change it to Marcos.
Marcos. And now you're instantly Cuban. No hablo the Espanol. I don't know.
Speak into my magic box. It will tell me what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Truthfully, it's just one of those soapbox political stumps that they pull out every now and then when they need something to talk about.
And then there's who is the hell is it that female that's running in 2020 that says she's going to make the Cuban embargo lift part of her topics of conversations? I just don't worry about the Cuban embargo right now. I think there are more pressing issues. We got a madman, what do they call him? Some Brutus backstabber as a president right now who's trying to build a fucking wall. I think that's a more pressing issue than worrying about, whether we place invoice orders for more cigars from Cuba. I think that's like on the page number 10 compared to the shit we have to deal with first.
I just want to build a wall around my house.
Just to make your own country like Peter Griffin did.
No one gets in but the Amazon Prime delivery guy.
That's it. He's the only one allowed. Oh, and Cigar Bid. Yeah.
That's right. Too. Well, anything UPS, they can come in. Anything UPS, come on in.
Basic stuff. But everybody else, piss off.
Yeah, Pretoria, I believe it was called in Family Guy.
That's right, Pretoria. I forgot. All right. So, I see you also wrote on here you want to talk about...
that asshole Cam Newton. So you can I'm just kidding. No, but he is opening up a cigar. Has opened up a cigar shop in Atlanta. He has.
So, what are your thoughts? Have you read? You've seen the website and read online and all this stuff.
Yeah, and there's if anybody out there in internet land wants to look at it, ESPN made an article about it, and they've got some pictures of the shop, which, quite honestly, it doesn't look that fancy for the prices that he's charging for it.
I like the basic page on the website. It does look nice. Like a giant living room is how it looks to me. But I get the feeling he built it for like only his rich NFL friends.
Yeah, and their families. It's literally, I think, a place for him, like you said, him to hang out and for him to have dinner parties with his.
He built a big ass man cave, which he could do at his own house. He just put it in a separate box of a store.
Because for normal people like you and me, it's like the cheapest way to get in is like $300, and that's not even.
I'm not paying $300. I mean, if I'm going to pay $300, I'll go to fucking Davidoff Lounge and get food delivered. And at least have a membership for a year or something. I don't know. But
yeah,
I just
I order $300 worth of cigars and tell everybody to fuck off.
Oh yeah, if you have a cigar bit, $300, you can get a lot of cigars that way.
Shit, I'd have a year supply.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like it is for the elite, and if that's what he wants to do, it's his money. I just like he's just throwing. I mean, I'll put it this way: he's like between him and I think there are athletes that enjoy cigars. But I would not expect Cam Newton to open up a cigar lounge restaurant. Ray Lewis, I can see. Michael Jordan, I can see.
Yeah, somebody with
some experience in cigars.
Better name recognition.
Look at his profile picture. I'll punch him right in the mug.
I mean, Cam Newton's marginally famous. I mean,
he is famous, and I'm sure he's a nice guy in person. I think what it is, I'm just jealous that I bet you if I could afford to go there, I probably would. Just because if I had I'm pissed off because I can't get in.
This is the poor person speaking.
The lamentations of the impoverished.
Damn you, Cam.
Yeah. Damn you for taking something so nice and putting it out of my reach. But I don't bitch when I can't get a private cigar lounge at Davidoff in like Manhattan. And I can't get into there either. So that should also piss me off. But it pisses me off that Cam Newton has this place and I don't. So I'm jealous. That's what it is.
Yeah, literally. I've been in 2 Davidoff lounges, the one in Chattanooga, which was included as part of Tweet Up, and then I've been in the one in Atlanta. And the only reason I got into that one was because I was tagging along with someone else who had clout.
So you were coattailing off someone else's success.
Literally, I went in there in my camo shorts and my T-shirt. It's like it's a miracle they let me in the building.
Did you feel out of place?
Yes, I did. For one, I was dressed in my normal slouchy way. and number 2, it's like the cheapest thing in the place was a room 101. So it's like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like this high-end stuff. I don't know. I do like room 101. I forgot about him.
Yeah, it's when you can find them, they're still out there. Which, I mean, there's several Davidoffs I like. I just have to budget for them.
The Escurio that you borrowed from your dad and gave me, what, quote unquote, one of the best smokes I've had in a long time. It's memorable. There's something about certain cigars, and there are some that it just leaves an impression, like it's just above average quality. So you have some cigars like, oh, this is nice, this is a good cigar, and then maybe 6 months go by and you kind of forgot about it. But there are some that just leave an impression of where you were, what you were doing, what you were smoking, how it just leaves that memory. Like when I had the Rocky Patel Decade or the Escurio, it just and that to me is the mark of a good cigar, when it leaves an impression like I have to find more of this. It leads you to go get it.
Yeah, we've got
and not many do that.
We've got 2 that we're really looking forward to breaking out at some point. They're 2 Opus X's that we bought back in, or Senior bought them. I didn't buy them, but that he bought back in November of 2013.
Are these like is these the regular Opus X? Because they have Opus X Lost City, and there's Angel Share. They have different ones.
Let me look, because it is dangerously in the humidor next to me.
Temptation.
If I can get the key. Is he? That's what I get for buying a humidor with a key.
You still have your...
Anybody in this house is going to steal.
It's just you.
Yeah. I have to keep them. This one is... Jesus, I can't read it.
It's probably the regular Opus X, I would guess.
Let's see, Destino Sigla, something like that. I'll have to Google it and see what the significance is, if there is any. But
I want to,
be curious just to know what 5 years has done to them.
I can only make it better. I have noticed cigars in general, if I leave them in the humidor, even for a brief period of time, somehow it kind of, I don't want to say renews, but it sort of comes into it. So like the burn is a little better. Just something about maybe rehumidifying it or something like that. I can't explain it, but it just seems to be slightly enjoyable. Like the cigar I had the other day. So I'm up here.
especially if you get them like from Cigar Bit. I always like to let those rest a little bit.
Yeah, because they might have been sitting in a warehouse for a little while. They got thousands of orders to fill. So if you put it in your humidor for a week, 2 weeks, and maybe a month, I don't know how long you want to set them there, and they sort of relax and back into its original form. Rehumidified, whatever you want to call it. But I've noticed that. I got a Rocky Patel Sun Grown, and in Maine here it's fucking cold, and and so it's like snowing and shit.
How cold is it?
Yeah, it's cool. So what I do is there's this little stone walkway down my backyard, and it goes right to this river that leads behind the house. And there's a little chair back there and a little table, and I almost never get a chance to use it. But I had the cigar, and I'm like, look, if I'm going to smoke, I've just got to bite the bullet and deal with the cold. So I bundled up and got a nice cup of coffee, and I had my iPad with me, and I was out there, working on my blog or whatever, and I had the Sun Grown. Now, when you're in a state of either really cold or really hot, when you're not in your comfort zone, you're not focusing so much on the cigar because you're so focused on the elements. Like I'm more focused on staying warm. But that Sun Grown, it was enough for me to still enjoy it. It was smooth. The burn was even. It was a clean draw. It was not harsh at all. It had a little pepper to it, but it was a nice, I'll say it, comfortable smoke. It was one of those where if I would have enjoyed it in cold weather, hot weather, under shade, whatever. I thought it was it has a 5-year aged Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, and then the filler is Dominican, Nicaraguan, or Honduran, and I think it's 7 years aged for one of the tobaccos inside. It was nice. It was not one of the expensive lines. It wasn't the Grand Reserva or the 15th anniversary of Royale or whatever. It was like a $7 or $8 stick, but it was well worth it. So a box of those or a pack of those would be worthwhile.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. Are they the ones with the red band?
Yeah, and it's Sun Grown. If you haven't tried it, or if you haven't tried it recently, go try it again. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you can actually find them on Cigar Bit once in a while. I got a 5-pack of them.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I've got one or two still floating around.
I still haven't tried. I know I've mentioned this a while back. I still want to try the Durango.
Yes, I'm interested in that. So.
I am, and I can't. I'm not going to judge it based on compare it because it's not all pipe tobacco that's inside. They use long filler, and then they sprinkle in there pipe tobacco. So it's like part pipe tobacco, part long filler. So it's maybe like 70-30 premium tobacco, pipe tobacco. But it's Cavendish and Virginia blends, and they put. I'd be interested. The reviews look good, and it's unique, and I will not rule that out. I will try it.
Yeah, I've kind of forgot about them, but I need to actually start looking for one because I'm curious about that one.
They have a lounge, actually. They opened up a store, I think, in the early '90s, and it's kind of like that retro, old school look that I seem to like. I think there's one is it in St. Louis that they have? They have a lounge. It's let me take a look here. Or is it? It's in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a nice, cool little lounge area. I'd be willing to try them.
Let's see. I'm checking their website here while we're.
Yeah, it's nice. I think it's
packs from $17. Let's see.
Yeah, they're not necessarily the cheapest cigars. Like for the variety pack is maybe like $75 to try one of each. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got a 2-pack that's $17. I'd probably spring for that.
That's $8.50. That's the price of a regular cigar. That's normal. Really. Yeah, that's really not too bad.
Yeah, I'd spend that much to give it a shot.
It looks good. I mean, it looks well made, the wrapper and everything. And like it's still predominantly premium tobacco, long filler. It's just if Colombian mocha and Elmer's burnt peach. Sounds like a bad movie. And 3 cherry Cavendish. So who knows? I'm going to do it.
Well, we had open forums listed on the agenda as the last part of the show, but this entire show has basically been an open forum.
Who's gonna argue?
No one.
No,
it goes back to the Rocky Patel conversation. It's my fucking show. We'll do what we want.
My fucking show. Talk what we want. If you have a problem, that's fine. You can file it under G for garbage.
Yeah. Direct all your complaints to Ben on Twitter.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
He may or may not read them.
I'm good. Probably not. There's been like I've seen a ton of cigar events. There's Big Smoke. There's the one in Havana, Cuba. There's all these places. Have you been to one of these major events, paid ticketed events?
No. Tweet Up's the biggest thing that we've been to. I have a chance.
If you could go, would you? Do you have a preference or a bias for visiting these large events?
I'd do it at least once just to try it. And just see what I came home with. I've got
just gather all the cigars and leave.
Yeah, basically.
that makes sense.
I care less about the people. Just give me the cigars. But I've got the chance, possibly. We're working on some logistics to go to IPCPR this year. So if that happens, that'll be the biggest thing I've done. But yeah, I mean, I'd like.
You can go with Jerry.
Well, that's possibly what might happen.
Again, coattailing, but it's successful.
That's the logistics part of
it. Yeah, the sending of the invitation and the acceptance of your invitation to tag along.
Basically, yes. Can I get my ass to Vegas conversation, basically.
Yeah, I think if you get the chance to go, you should go and then write an article on what your experience was, because I think you'd have a unique perspective on it. See what actually goes on.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same thing as like Big Smoke and stuff like that. It's to me, I do it at least once to see if I liked it, and then maybe make something of it at that point. But yeah, it's on the list of things to do.
I do miss Tweet Up though. The original Tweet Up, not necessarily the last one or two per se, but the original ones was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the original ones were great. The last one sucks. Restaurants burned down. People died.
Oh God, that's true. And we're sitting there eating his food. And in the meantime, look on this, brother, your restaurant's on fire, and one of your workers died. Like that's just. I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah,
I'm like, your food's good, but it's over now.
Yeah, it's your building's gone, and you may be culpable in a loss.
You might be in court for some type of lawsuit. I don't know. For
civil litigation, OJ
it's possible. Maybe, yeah, it's possible that somebody's gonna. I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, but that was a lot of fun.
The glove fit, so we can't acquit.
Did I tell you like at the last? Oh, this one, the last one. I can't remember. So we did a kickball tournament in Chattanooga off in the Rocky. What the hell is that?
Lookout Mountain.
Lookout Mountains. It was a little park area there. And I got to bribe Pete Johnson to change a call on one of the runs. I wasn't that good of an athlete, so he goes, hey, I'll change. I'm here for bribery. So I pulled out like $20 in cash. I was like, what do you think? It's fine. He's safe, and he called it safe. And Matt Booth was dressed in like tube socks or whatever. It was kind of funny. And so he's like, "Oh, come on! How can you do that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I wanted to change the call."
That's like when you were a kid and you did the homework for the bully, so he'd leave you alone.
That's what's happening, and
it's just the adult version of that.
The adult version of it just involved a little money, but I thought it was fun.
See, we all have things we waste money on. You bribe officials. I bribe Gilbert. It's all in good fun.
That's how we get famous. Bribery. Senators and congressmen have been doing it for years. So.
Well, it has been the Cigar Tipsters podcast. I am Mark. That is Ben.
Yep.
And we will see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks.